Hi everyone. I
Hello,
I am Lindsay
I'm Maria.
and this is Roomies reviewing the movies. And tonight we are reviewing CB4.
Yes,
And Maria has never seen CB4 before, so this is her first time.
yes.
But let's go on ahead and get into it. CB4 it is starring Chris Rock. Also stars Alan Payne, Rachel True, Candy Alexander, Phil Hartman, R.I.P.,
Yes.
and also Charlie Murphy, R.I.P. as well. And basically, what the story is about, it's a mockumentary, or part mockumentary, part just regular story fiction, and it is chronicalizing the fake group CB4. And we have Chris Elliott as well. He is a documentary filmmaker, and he is making the documentary about the group CB4. So we start off with them already being an established group, and they're watching the beginning of their documentary. And it has a good beginning, but Chris Elliott's like, I need more. I need to like really know the true essence of CB4. I need to follow you guys around, and the group is not really with it. But
No, I think
um,
it's more.
yeah, yeah, I think it's super whack. But Chris Rock's character, which his name is Albert, he slash MC Gusto. He will go on ahead and let Elliott's character follow him around for that day.
Yeah.
So they get into the car. This is the early 90s. So all the stereotypical gangster rap tropes are in the movie, which is the juicy Jerry curl, the baggy clothes, the beanie hat, the Jeep,
Gold tea,
the
drinking the
gold
40.
tea, right, drinking the
Camel
40, the gold
bag.
chains. Yeah, like all the tropes are here. You name it, they have it in this movie. So they get into the car, excuse me, they get into the Jeep or whatever, and they end up getting followed by these two guys in another Jeep. Um, MC Gusto knows who they are, but Chris Elliott's character doesn't know. So they are shooting at them. They're in this wild chase. They end up um, on the highway, and this is
Yes.
in LA. So they're in traffic on the highway. So
Yeah, he's like, I
after,
know, I know one place he won't follow me. And I was in
right,
traffic
right,
on the highway.
right, and he was absolutely right. So while they're in this ridiculous traffic that is going negative 2 miles an hour, um, MC Gusto goes ahead and fills him in on the story behind CB4. So basically, story behind CB4 is that they were three guys that were rappers. They come from different backgrounds, but they all came together to form this rap group. The rap group doesn't really know what their direction is. They just know they want to rap. So every week, they're out of Low Cash, California, presumably, but every week they would go to this open mic night, and they would try different types of rap styles.
Gimmicks, really.
Yeah, right, exactly. They were straight gimmicks. They would try different ones every week to try to figure out what will be their judge. And they were bohemians one week. They were fat one week. They were
They wore
forgot.
shower caps another week.
Oh yeah, the bagheads. The bagheads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So this open mic night was at this bar. this club bar scene called Gusto's, and it was owned by this guy named Gusto. Now, Gusto is your resident gangster. He is somebody that you completely did not fool with at all, and that is played by Charlie Murphy.
I didn't
Um,
recognize him at first. With those
yes,
glasses and everything.
yes, right, because he
Yeah.
he looked like a real gangster MC Hammer. He looked like a
Yes.
super gangster MC Hammer. Um, so yeah, so they ended up getting into it with Gusto, to where Gusto ended up putting them out of the bar. So it was mainly what's his name? It was mainly Albert's issue that the reason why they got kicked out. So they was like, okay, well, Albert, you're gonna have to go and apologize to him. So the next day he goes to the bar, and his whole premise is so that he could apologize so they can come back and do the open mic night every week. Well, because excuse me, he ends up walking into a major drug bust. Gusto was in the middle of a drug deal, and there were cops all over the place watching him. So he walks in to apologize. Next thing you know, the cops come in and raid the joint. So
hmm
because
I mean,
they
they are
came
like
in,
directly behind him.
yes, yes, it was like they was just waiting for somebody to open the door. So because the cops came in at the same time that Albert came in, Gusto believes that Albert was part of the setup.
Mhm.
So he's like, "You're a dead man."
Yeah, because he
Come to
did talk
find,
to one of the cops before it happened, but he didn't know the guy was a cop. And the guy
right,
had only asked him, like, what time is it?
exactly, exactly. So like his right hand man had saw him when the cop asked him what the time was. So that's how he ended up putting two and two together. So come to find out, Gusto is going away to jail for a really long time. So because of this, Albert has the bright idea to turn into gangster rappers. And they will take on the whole persona of Gusto. And Albert himself will be MC Gusto. So they go through this whole montage of them turning into CB4. CB4 is actually the cell block number that Gusto was put in. So that's where the name CB4 came from.
hmm
Cell block 4. So they go through this whole montage of them turning into CB4, and them doing the song. They had a song called Straight Out of Low Cash,
Right.
uh, that was very similar to Straight Out of Compton.
Yeah, it's
CB4,
very
like
much
in real life,
a parody
yeah,
on that. Yeah.
right. CB4 is in real life pretty much mimicking uh,
NWA.
NWA.
Yeah.
So yeah. So with
Who
this,
make a cameo appearance in the film.
yes,
Yeah.
it was Easy E and Ice Cube. They weren't together; they were separate, but they do make an
It's
appearance.
Easy E, Ice Cube, Ice
Mhm.
T,
Ice T, Holly Berry, Shaq,
Halle Berry, and the Butthole
uh,
Surfers for some reason.
yeah. And I still to this day don't know who they are, but I know they're famous. So, um, so yeah, so they go through this whole persona or whatnot. While they before the incident happened with them getting into it with Gusto, there was a record exec that was just a real sleazy record exec that would frequent Gusto's, and he told them that once they figure out their gimmick, to give him a call. So now that they figured out the gimmick, they went on ahead and gave him a call. His name is Trust Us with Trust Us Productions. So Trust Us ends up signing him. So now
Mhm.
they're on the speedway to stardom, and they're having all these hit songs. They're traveling the country. White folks are absolutely loving them.
Yes.
Wow. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, there is a local election that's going on, and that's where Phil Hartman's character comes in. Phil Hartman's character needs a something to attack in his campaign.
Right.
Well, his son is a really huge CB4 fan. His
Yeah, they
son
had a little boy
probably,
saying the N word and everything. I was like, whoa.
yes, yes, they went there. They went there, but it is mimicking white suburban kids because let's
Yeah.
just be real, white suburban kids say the N word. They don't think it's that big of a deal. They say it in their music. So that's what this white suburban kid did. And this kid probably at best was 10 years old. But he's singing the song lyric by lyric.
He knows
So
every single word.
every single word, like he has the clothes, the hats, the wallpaper, the sheets,
Yeah.
everything,
Big
everything decked
fan.
out in CB4. So with with this little boy, trying to get his dad's attention because the video then came on TV and he wants to show his dad the video. He's real happy that his favorite group is on TV. His dad gets the bright idea that he can use this um as something to go against in his campaign.
Hmm. The
So
dangers of gangster rap,
exactly.
how it's corrupting the youth, you know.
Right, because we have to save them because they're so delicate. So with all this going on and whatnot, we see them touring and what have you. Then they come to the area where Phil Hartman's character is campaigning. So Phil Hartman's character is a part of this commission for the decency of
Hmm.
I forgot what, but a better life, I guess.
Yeah, very
And
much like a parody on the whole Tipper Gore
exactly,
thing when she got all
right,
upset
and
about obscene
exa-
lyrics.
right, her and see Dolores Tucker. And so he confronts the group right before they go on stage and he tells them that they can't do certain things. And he confronts them with the police. So he tells them that they can't do certain things. One of the things they cannot do is sing a song that's called Sweat. Sweat from my balls. And so which that is mimicking NWA because NWA had a song called Fuck the Police, which they were um, touring around the country singing, and then they did go into certain areas where they told them that they couldn't sing that song. So,
Right.
yeah. So, let's see. What the heck y'all got going on with the headsets? Glenn, don't be a hater all your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so they can't sing Sweat from My Balls, right? So what does CB4 do? They get on stage and they start singing a song. Of course, they're getting through the first verse because the people that told them not to sing it don't know their songs.
No.
So, yeah, so they're getting through the song. Then next thing you know, they sing the chorus and it's Sweat from My Balls, Sweat from My Balls. So with them singing that. They got these big, gigantic balloons that are
Yes. Oh my
falling
gosh.
down. They're falling down from the ceiling. They're big old black balls that they're just, bouncing around through the whole arena or whatnot. So Phil Hartman and the police really acknowledge the fact that they're singing Sweat from My Balls now. So now they go on stage and arrest everybody. So they get arrested, which was that scene is like a classic scene or whatnot. So next thing you know, Gusto breaks out of jail. With Gusto breaking out of jail, because he's watched them on TV. Now he's pissed off because they didn't stole his whole persona. So he figures out a way to break out of jail. With him breaking out of jail, he's coming after them. So he comes after Albert first. He kidnaps Albert, makes him rob a store, and then he keeps saying their name, keep saying, "This is CB4, this is CB4, tell everybody that CB4 you robbed y'all." And on top of that, they had on ski masks. He lifts up Albert's ski mask into the surveillance camera and, tells him, I mean, he like just pretty much exposes him.
So there would be
So,
no mistaken. And the thing
right,
is, like this, the cast from CB4, like none of them grew up like in the hood doing that stuff. Like they
right.
were all pretty middle class. What's this? Alan Payne, who plays Dead Mike, was like wearing a Howard University sweatshirt and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, but that was the style back then. Like they wore
Yeah.
all that HBCU attire, whether they went to do one credit hour at college or at all or not. So yeah, so they go through this whole thing with Gusto telling Albert, "Hey, if you um if you don't break up the group, I'm coming for you and I'm going to kill you." So Albert got to figure out a way to break up the group. So he takes the group out to breakfast, and he just starts going in on them on what they're lacking within the group or whatnot, which is extremely petty. But he's doing it with a purpose. They don't know his purpose yet. So Glenn says, "Thanks, OG Bill, for the HBCU love." Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, so the group breaks up, right? So with the group breaking up, everybody goes solo. Well, Albert doesn't go solo, but Dead Mike
Dead
goes
Mike.
solo, and then Mike is going through this journey of being pretty much a hotep,
Yeah,
and that's
he
kind of
like
like he's
through the
kind of
whole
like
movie, he's been like seeing this guy around. He's supposed to be like a doctorate of African American studies or something, and he's selling his book, whatever, trying to
mhm,
teach folks about the diaspora and whatnot. And
right,
Dead Mike gets deeper and deeper and deeper into it to the point where he just goes full blown hotel.
right, yeah, because his name was Baba Ak, and he wants to build a boat to go back to Africa. So
Mm,
yeah, but it's kind of parallel to what Ice Cube was kind of going through because
mm,
after Ice Cube left NWA, he turned Muslim. He was rolling with Public Enemy. They produced his first album, so it was kind of parallel, but on an extreme level.
yeah.
So um, so with with that, Mike he puts out a song and it's called "I'm Black, Y'all," and I saw on your tweet that that's how you found out where that gift came from. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So, so it's a song where he just basically saying I'm black, y'all, through the whole song,
yeah.
and every black means something different. So Stab Master Arson, who was the DJ, he puts out a song, and it's just him pretty much just DJing through the song, and he has a whole thing where he's just like really into um explicit women. So they're
Yeah.
like basically like he likes the booty magazines and stuff like that. So with his video, he got nothing but girls that he's like catering to with his
Hmm.
mixing and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah. So then Glenn says,
Yeah.
"I'm black, AD black, and I'm black, y'all."
Yep, and I'm back because I'm black. That's great.
Right. so yeah. So next thing you know, the next person that Gusto goes after is Trust Us. So with Trust Us, he catches him out to eat. So when he catches him out to eat, before he could shoot him, Trust Us chokes on his food. So
He's
while
so
he's
scared. He's so
right, he's
scared. He
so
just choked.
scared, he just chokes. While he's trying to gasp for air and get help, the people in the restaurant are trying to help him, but nobody officially knows how to do the Heimlich.
At
So
all. They're just doing
yeah,
all of the wrong things. I was like,
everything is
was it really
wrong.
that much of a mystery?
Yes, everything is wrong. They're doing everything wrong. So next thing you know, Trustus dies. R.I.P. to Trustus. So, so excuse me. they have Trusta's funeral, and
They have him in the coffin on his cell phone.
yes, they have him, and the cell phone rings. The cell phone rings. Somebody is still trying to call him in the afterlife.
Yes.
So they they have the funeral. Everybody's coming up to him, doing what they do when they go up to caskets, except for one of his signees, which was this guy named Wacky D. Wacky D
Yeah.
is reminiscent to the Can't Touch This era of MC Hammer.
Yeah.
So
And
he is
he played in another movie as well, didn't he?
Pootie Tang.
Who's saying?
Pootie
That's
Tang.
it.
hmm
Yes.
He's the lead in Pootie Tang, and then he was also on the Chris Rock show. He used to do skits and stuff. Well, he did Pootie Tang on the Chris Rock show. So yeah. Um. So the guy, he goes up to the casket and he's like, "Yeah, you're not going to go into the afterlife without giving me my money." And he starts beating up Trustus in the casket.
Yes.
So yeah, gave him a black eye and everything. So
Like,
yeah,
wow.
he said he wanted his money. I don't know how he gonna get it out of a dead man, but
At all.
So yeah, so at the funeral, all three of CB4 shows up. Um, then at the funeral is when Albert confronts the guys, just letting them know, hey, this is what the deal was or whatever. I feel like we should try to get the group back together.
Hmm.
So they're down for it, but they was like, we're not gonna be on that fugazi stuff. Um, we got to do it for real this time.
Right.
In the meantime, they didn't found Gusto, and Gusto went back to jail, so they're free in the clear to do whatever now because they don't have that lingering over their head, and so they end up getting back together, and that was the end of the movie.
Well, no, Candy Alexander, right?
Yeah, forgot all about her character. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. So, Candy Alexander, she is, um, I guess she would be what Black China was a few years ago, because it was rumored that Black China was like, she was like an employee of the record label and she would get with men for the look back when she was
Mm.
like going through different boyfriends and stuff. So Candy Alexander was kind of like that type of character. She would be good arm candy, but she was smart about it, because she was taking pictures of men in compromising positions and whatnot, and she was just using the men to her
Kept
advantage.
a photo album.
Yes, kept a whole Polaroid photo album of
Sure
men
did.
in compromising positions. So just in case they wanted to jump stupid, she had evidence of them doing this, that, and the third. So she obviously was an employee of Trust Us Productions. She she ended up there's a scene where she ended up smashing both MC Gusto and Dead Mike, which
Hmm.
was a hilarious scene.
It
But
was.
the way
And at
that
one
they
point, MC Gusto was switched out for an obvious
dummy,
dummy.
right, right.
And then
So
also, like, she has body
mhm,
doubles in the movie that are clearly not her. Like, very clearly not her.
yeah, she did have a couple, but you know what? I also found out, which is so funny. I've been watching this movie for 30 years, but I just found out recently that she's a choreographer as well. So
Oh,
cause
wow.
yeah, cause I was just like, was she really doing those splits? But I believe she
Oh,
was. Yeah,
yeah.
cause she's a
Hmm.
dancer. So yeah, but yeah. So they use Candy to get Gusto because we need him to go back to jail before we can, you know, be able to roam freely around the country.
Right.
So we all knew that Gusto was sweet on Candy. So
And she
Candy
would never give him a chance.
never give him no play. So what Candy did was she called him to give him some play, and she had him come meet her at a hotel, and they had dinner, and then after dinner they were supposed to have a nightcap. So So she's like, okay, I gotta go slip into something more comfortable. She goes in to the bathroom, and we have a whole montage of Gusto getting ready because he think he gonna get some sex.
Yeah.
So
He somehow gets an exercise bike in the hotel room.
yes, yes, right. He was getting together. He was stretching. He was doing jumping jacks. He was doing everything. So we uh we see all the she asked for all the lights to go dim, and then
Yeah.
she comes out of the bathroom, and she gives him instructions on what to do. She like tells him to get on all fours, tells him to crawl over, all types of stuff. So once she gets him in the position to take a picture of him, like how she does everybody, this is a known fact. This is not no secret or nothing like that.
Mm-mm.
So she takes the picture. Soon as she takes the picture, he gets blinded by the light. Once he comes to, he realizes that it's not Candy. It's actually Albert dressed like Candy, with
Yes.
complete with wig and lingerie.
And
So
full face of makeup.
the whole nine. So once he realizes that, he's pissed off or whatever. So now he's reaching for his gun. So with him reaching for his gun, Albert drew first, shot the pillow that Gusto had put his gun under. And so when that happened or whatever, that's when the police come in, they arrest Gusto and take him away.
Hmm.
And that's how Gusto went back to jail. So now
Yeah.
they're free to roam about the country as CB4, but not the gangster rapper CB4.
No.
And
They're
and that's the movie.
yeah, they got a different spin. Then there's a part where Albert, dressed as Candy's character, almost kisses Stab Master Arson, and I was like, "Aren't?"
Yes.
But the whole time in the movie, Dead Mike's been calling them cousins. So I'm like, "Wait a minute, what is
Yeah.
happening?"
I'm not necessarily sure if they were actually cousins, but I know that's what he called people was
Right.
cousin.
But it was confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's
And
just
then
was his thing.
there's an end credit scene with Isaac Hayes and Chris Rock as well.
And I
That was
saw
pretty
you
funny.
tweet that, but I didn't. All this whole time, I did not know about that scene.
Yeah, you got to make it through all the credits. Because
Yeah.
I was looking at the cast list and I saw Isaac Hayes on there, but I was like, I don't see him in the movie at all. So I was just letting the credits roll and it popped up. So yeah, you got to go back and see that movie again.
Yeah. Right. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that scene because I saw you tweet that, and I was like, Isaac Hayes. Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, but yeah. So um, yeah, that is CB4. It is a cult classic. It it's been a part of my childhood. I probably was too young to be watching it, but nonetheless,
Yeah, because it came out in 1993, so that would be like nine
yeah,
going on 10.
right. So yeah, I was too young to watch it, but I watched it numerous times and loved every bit of it. Um, how did you feel about the movie since this is your first time? Did you know anything
I
prior to us coming up with the idea to do it?
No, I'd never heard of C before ever. So I had no idea what it was about or anything like that. I watched the trailer before watching the movie, just
Wow.
to, I mean, right
Mhm.
before watching the movie, just to get a clue. But I had
Mhm.
never heard of it.
Wow. Wow. That's wild. That's wild because it was like a big deal. It was a big deal. Well, it was a big deal in my life, I should say. Yeah. I don't know what that says about my life, but yeah. But yeah. So CB4 had the budget of 6 million and made $17.9 million at the box
Oh,
office.
okay, so it was a hit.
Are you there?
Hey, Mike.
All right, so Mike says, an episode of Different World, the Homecoming Dance Off episode. Candy Alexander was in that episode dancing against the Hillman ladies. Fun fact, she was a choreographer for Whitney Houston.
Oh wow.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I've always
cool.
liked her as an actress. So that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Right, right. I know she was mainly on, or a lot of people mainly know her from CSI Miami.
Hmm.
So,
She was also in
but
Treme on
yeah, I
HBO.
didn't watch her. Yeah,
Oh, so good.
was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a good actress though. But this is where I first saw her was CB4.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So, but but yeah, but I'm glad that you were able to see it for the first time. That was cool.
Hmm.
That's what I
Yeah,
like
I enjoyed it.
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about this is like because there's some movies that you have suggested that I have never seen or never even heard of, and then there's some movies that I suggest that you've never heard of, or never seen,
Yeah.
So yeah. But what let's see. Can you see this movie being remade in present time?
I can see the concept being done, but probably not this specific movie, right? Because music has changed in a lot of ways. So I could see like the whole like mockumentary still being done with like a different
Mhm.
kind of group, a different style of music or whatever. Um, it probably, just not gangster rap because gangster rap is not like the thing anymore.
Could you see it like being done with like a group like the Migos?
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with the
I
way
can.
their very distinctive style of dress and everything. Yeah, I can see that.
Mhm. Yes, that would probably be hilarious. Now,
Yeah.
one thing that Chris Rock has talked about was them doing a sequel to CB4.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
surprised they didn't in all this
yeah,
time.
he said that they've tossed around ideas about it, but just nothing has come into fruition.
Hmm.
And oh, and then they had that scene where they were talking about the hip hop retirement home.
Yeah.
Um,
He
he
still had his
kicked
Jericho
around.
wig with the gray streaks in it.
Yes, yes. But they kicked around. He said they kicked around the idea because back then it wasn't really old people that were rappers. So he kicked
Right.
around the idea of if they were to do a sequel of the rappers being older.
Hmm.
And I was
I can
like,
see
okay,
that too.
yeah, that would be a good idea. But I think the last time he's probably talked about it was about 8 to 10 years ago. Talked
Hmm.
about it publicly. So
Hmm.
but yeah,
I
I can
I could
definitely
definitely
see it
see,
being redone.
yeah, being probably even like reimagined as a television show because mockumentaries are more popular on television, right? Because you
Hmm.
have The Office, right, and then you have other, what is it? Abbott Elementary is shot in the same way.
Yes. Hmm.
So I could definitely see that like being a TV show, like a sitcom for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep. Yep. I can definitely see that as well. And I think it would be successful as well. And then if they put it
Yeah.
on a channel where they can cuss, I can see that being good as well too. So
Yeah.
um let's see. I would say as far as like why was the movie chosen, like this was a big movie in my childhood. Um so I've
We all
always
running
enjoyed
around
this.
quoting it. Thing.
Yes. And it's so funny because a couple of days ago I put on uh I put on Facebook. All I said was straight out of low cash. That was it. That was the post. And Glenn, who is watching right now, he commented on it and he said, "Crazy motherfucker named Gusto." And then my
Okay.
friend Sharonda, she comments on it and she says, "I fucked your wife because the bitch is a big hoe."
Oh my god.
Yeah. So then her daughter, which is my goddaughter, she comments on it and she says, "When I'm in your area, you better dig a moat." And she's 15, and
Wow.
we was like, so I didn't see it when she initially posted it, but Sharonda
Hmm.
called me because they was actually going back and forth because she had commented on her post first before she put up the lyric, and
Hmm.
so. she called me and was just like, I'm gonna have to stop commenting on your stuff because she's on here going back and forth with me. And so when I saw it, I saw that she had put up the lyric also, and I was like, you didn't see her other post. She put up this lyric too. And so when she saw it, we both was like, how does she know this song? So then when I saw her over the weekend, I asked her, I was like, how do you know the song? Like, did you look up the lyrics? And she was like,
Mhm.
no, it's on TikTok. And I'm like, it's
Oh
on
wow!
TikTok.
What?
Yes. She said that song is on TikTok. And I was like,
Wow. Okay.
wow. Yeah. I told her that she had to show me, but we didn't get a chance to have her pull it
Yeah,
up.
I'll
But yeah.
look that up.
She did, yeah. She said that song is on TikTok. So wow.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it's still we're still getting the impact from it to this day,
Mhm.
almost 30
Mhm.
years later. So do you have any big takeaways from the movie?
Mostly just knowing where that gift comes from, but also just like the stuff that was happening in the background, like when Albert's telling the story to the documentarian, like there are people passing them or beside them, right? And there was
Mm-hmm.
one scene where this guy's like got a head full of rollers and is drinking a cocktail, like out of an actual cocktail glass. I was like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh. I was like, look at
yeah.
this dude having a full cocktail on the highway. You
Right.
know, and then it
That's a
has some
whole
headbangers come through. Like, yeah.
yes. That's a whole sub scene in itself. The people that are in traffic with him. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you see those people, that is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say the biggest takeaway for me is probably the songs
Mm-hmm.
because the songs were hilarious. Yeah. So
Which one's your favorite?
uh, probably I'm black, y'all.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, probably I'm black, y'all. But they're hilarious. Like the straight out of low cash, what he was saying in that song is hilarious. And then sweat from my balls. I mean, that speaks for itself, you know. but I mean, you can always apply "I'm black, y'all" to anything,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
true. It's
So
true. I mean,
yeah.
that's why that one has been so popular even now, you know.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then a friend of mine, I was telling him I was going to watch this movie, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, they used to play that song on the radio." Like actually,
They used to play "I'm black,
yeah.
y'all."
Hmm.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. So yeah, but yeah, we was in elementary school singing this song. Like,
Wow.
don't judge me.
I'm
But
not.
yeah, but yeah, we definitely sung straight out of low cash in elementary school. Definitely. So I
Like,
figure
why are we
that's better
singing
than
with
singing
cats?
for the police. You know.
Hey, you know.
But yeah, so all right, so we have our rating system. We have
Rating
one movie
system.
real trash AF, two it exists, three entertaining, four great, five a true classic. So what say you, Maria?
For me, it's gonna be three. It was entertaining. Like it was very amusing, and like some of the stuff was really funny, but I didn't laugh out loud that much for me. And a lot of it, of course, is like very 1993, but I
Hmm.
enjoyed it. It was entertaining.
Yeah. I would probably give it probably a four.
Yeah,
Definitely a four.
yeah.
Yeah, part of it is for nostalgic reasons or whatever, but excuse me. I felt like it was shot very well. It was a
Mhm.
great thought out plan. They definitely leaned into all the tropes that you would get from gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? And they did do a great job with the songs, with the performing. You know, they told a story. The story was engaging, entertaining. So I think it was well rounded, you know. And
I
I
thought they
think,
were gonna do more with the Phil Hartman character,
mhm,
because that storyline just kind of like died off. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
they were gonna
yeah,
go
it
into
did,
like a fight the power kind of thing with his character, you know?
yeah. But with it being more towards NWA than Public Enemy, I can see
Yeah.
why they chose to just let that die off, because that
Hmm.
was just a moment instead of like the main focus of
Hmm.
them. You know what I'm saying? Because like if it was Public
Yeah.
Enemy that we were mocking, then I can see it being a bigger character than what it was. You know, but um, but yeah, I think out of like if we make a list of all the Chris Rock movies that he was like a lead in, I think this is up there with one of the tops.
Oh, I think the one that I liked the most was the one where he was running for president.
Oh, Head of State.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was really good too. That one was really good. Um, but I'm partial to CB4. I maybe that may
Yeah,
be
of
my one.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. If I had definitely seen this when I was younger, I would definitely feel the same way. I know.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that is our review on CB4. So what are we doing next week, Maria?
So I was going back over the '80s list, the '80s movies list that we had looked at a few weeks ago, and I
Hmm.
noticed you had not seen
Uh-huh.
Top Gun.
Hold on.
Top Gun
Okay, say that again.
1986. I noticed you had not seen Top Gun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and you know what's so funny? Probably like a month ago, I saw Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, so you guys see the first one.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm down. Top Gun it is.
Yes, it is on Amazon Prime,
Okay. All
so you
right.
can see it there. So Top Gun 1986.
All right.
I'll be
So I
interested to
am
see
down for that.
what themes you pick up in that movie.
Right, right. And seeing them out of order,
For sure.
you know. Hmm. All right. So where can we find you?
You can find me online.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can find me online, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Valor More Dollars. That's VALARMOR Dollars. I'm also on another podcast with five other Black ladies where we talk about geek stuff called Nerdgasm Noir. So you can find me there too. Where can they find you, Lindsay?
So you can find me everywhere at L_Ranelle. That's L_RANELLE. I also have another podcast as well called The Ish We Talk. We just talk about various topics that go on throughout the week. This past episode, we kind of dove a little bit into the whole Krishan Blueface situation, which
Mm-hmm.
is a sad situation when you think about it for real.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yep.
All
So that
right.
was one of the topics. Yeah. All right. So that
So
was it episode 13?
I think so.
Yeah, we're getting up there. Yeah,
Yes.
episode 13.
All right.
Getting up there. So we will see you